Hey everyone, I finished reading issue 7 of Ranger Academy. I'm confused. Tula's sister Tashi was a Green Ranger who died in a shuttle explosion. Soon after that incident, Green Rangers were erased and not talked about. The way it's being presented sounds like a massive brainwashing affected nearly everyone involved with the Ranger Academy. Tula adds that Tashi didn't deserve to be erased. None of the Green Rangers did. So that's pretty concrete information right there. The school is involved in some kind of enormous cover-up conspiracy to make everyone forget Green Rangers. I'll bring up my point from a few videos ago. How do the students learn about the history of Rangers without acknowledging any Green Rangers? Nerd time! Here's every Green Ranger and their relevance to their seasons. Tommy. Zordon had 5 power coins, but Rita had one of her own, green. She selected Tommy to give it to, but he overcame her control and joined the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Eventually, his powers grew weak. Rita's influence weakened the coins. Zordon and Alpha then created the White Ranger powers to replace them. Also, the Dragon Zord is possibly still underwater somewhere. 2. Adam. The Zeo Crystal gave the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers new powers, and for some new colors. Adam was the Black Ranger, but is now the Green Ranger. How did the Academy handle Adam? Did they wipe his memory of Zeo? What about Turbo? He had the green Turbo powers, too. The Zeo powers were also numbered. Adam was 4. If there's still information available on Zeo, but without the Green Ranger, then we have 5, 3, 2, 1. Wouldn't some students notice this oddity? 3. Carlos. Adam chose Carlos as his successor, and Carlos went on to become a Black Ranger when Andros gave the Turbo Rangers space powers. So does Carlos get a pass because his green powers were replaced with black powers? Damon. When Leo is stuck on Earth, he turns to the Astro Megaship as a means to get to space. Damon is the only one who knows how the ship works. Without Damon, Leo never leaves Earth and never becomes a Ranger. 5. Joel. Joel was a celebrity stunt pilot. He married Angela Fairweather, who was a major ally to the Lightspeed Rangers. If he were to disappear, a lot of people, including his team, would notice. Does the Ranger Academy have a wide enough reach to brainwash regular citizens? The Lightspeed Rangers had no secret identities, so many people knew exactly who they were. 6. Trip. Trip was a native of the year 3000. I don't know when Ranger Academy takes place. If it's before, did they somehow manage to alter the future? If it's after, they have literally hundreds of years worth of history they erased. I have no idea how or why they'd go to the trouble. It seems like if something has been established for hundreds of years, how could you go about covering that up? 7. Cam. Cam was the son of a ninja sensei and was the cousin of Mara and Capri. Mara and Capri were from space and presumably stayed in contact with people they knew off Earth. He worked at the Wind Ninja Academy and probably encountered many students over the years. 8. Bridge. I'll keep this somewhat simple and ignore that the A-Squad Rangers exist for now. SPD's powers are a bit different from most seasons. The colors and numbers of the uniform are more like ranks. So Green's number designation is 3. So we have 1, 2, 4, 5. Surely some students would notice this omission, and also, aren't there other Green Rangers? Bridge was promoted to Blue Ranger and later to Red Ranger. That implies that there were other people promoted to Green Ranger. Surely they didn't just retire Green after he was promoted. 9. Xander. Xander ran the record shop, so his employees would definitely notice he was gone. He also met several other Rangers from across other teams when he was selected by Sentinel Knight to fight Thrax. 10. Master Fant. Fant was one of the Pai Shui Masters. His powers were unique in that he didn't actually morph. A Green Ranger manifestation would appear alongside him. Does he slip by on that technicality? 11. Ziggy. Ziggy had numerous connections to criminal organizations. Surely him spontaneously disappearing would send ripples throughout the criminal underground. He and Dylan were placed in prison, so there should be records of his presence there. He also married Dr. K, the mentor of the RPM team. 12. Mike. The Samurai Rangers mostly stayed isolated, but Mike had friends outside the team. The Samurai Rangers also were multi-generational. Mike's parents and grandparents and other ancestors were all Green Rangers too. Presumably, he'll pass on his powers to his kids, or if he doesn't have kids, to one of his teammates' kids. 13. Jake. Like Adam, Jake was a Black Ranger and later became a Green Ranger. Gosei's command cave was also lined with Ranger keys, including Green Rangers. Did Ranger Academy break in and steal all of Gosei's keys? 14, Riley. The Dino Charge team exists in their own separate dimension thanks to time travel shenanigans. Maybe Ranger Academy just broke off any possibility of contact with them. 15, Izzy. The Dino Fury team existed in an age of social media. Worldwide, people would be well aware of the Rangers. Izzy's girlfriend Fern would tag along with the team to space and become an Orange Ranger, another Ranger color, by the way, stated to not exist. Fern wouldn't have gone along if not for Izzy. Well, that was a tangent. The point is, I can't comprehend any feasible way the school could successfully rewrite history to the point suggested in the story. Back to the story. Tula says the only evidence that Tashi existed at all is her name on a memorial. Sage remembers seeing it, and for some reason the art makes it look like she's a game show host. She looks like she's about to say, "Tell them what they've won!" It also reminds me of when Furio wore a little top hat back in Lost Galaxy. Tula and Sage get into a weird argument. It seems like there's more important things going on, but whatever, I'm not a teenager anymore. Sage accuses Tula of just using her to get into the Green Campus. She's not really her friend. Tula responds that she is her friend, but she never planned on drawing her into this. When her ship crashed near Sage and her father's home, Tula had been trying to contact Ryanth. The crash was an accident, and she didn't know Sage existed. Now I'm wondering why Tula never told Ryanth why she was there. The way she talks sounds like Mathis wasn't supposed to be as involved as they were. Tula never wanted Sage to come with her. Sage stowed away, but in the first issue, she does ask Ryanth to let Sage go with them. What was this all about? Tula begins to be surrounded by weird little wispy red and black strands of something. Sage doesn't seem to notice, and I'm not sure if they're supposed to literally be there or if they're just for the reader. The red and black is reminiscent of Dark Spectre's skin, and I know the comics love Dark Spectre for whatever reason, so I'm assuming this may be setting up something with him for the future. The next day, there's an assembly called. Sage goes with all the other students. The headmaster introduces the ranger team of their sector. The suits are very clearly just variations on the Megaforce suits with Ninja Storm influence for the helmets. Also, the Red Ranger's suit is identical to Tula's, so I guess all the students just get the same uniforms? How do they tell each other apart if they all have to work together with another team? They inform the students that they've detected that Dark Spectre is active. So what continuity is this supposed to be? The comic, the show, or some cluster-jumbled mess of both? Sage joins her friends later building morphers. I thought they already had morphers or whatever, I don't really care. Sage cries because that's her thing, I guess, and then goes to try and get more information out of Tula. Some weird Attack on Titan looking thing pops up behind Tula and attacks. Lindy walks in and Sage leaps in to defend her. She fully morphs for the first time. Power up, power on, Power Rangers. I guess at least it's not just its morphin' time. Boy, this comic has become a bizarre entity. I have no idea who the target audience is, what the writers were thinking, what the artists were doing. Every aspect is unnatural. More and more, I'm just as curious to see how this all turns out as I am put off by everything. At this point, the story has become so convoluted and muddled, I don't think there's any way to explain away all the questions. I was expecting a breezy magic school story, but instead there's some massive conspiracy tangled up with a shady school for straight-up child soldiers. People like to joke about Zordon recruiting child soldiers, but that's all it is, a joke. This comic implies that students who graduate basically become soldiers loyal to the Academy. There's several hundred Rangers from the Academy out there, all with identical uniforms, and there also appears to be very little room for individuality. This is like a bad soap opera. It's a mess. It's not good, but damn it, I have to see how it all turns out, even though I already know I won't like it. So there's Ranger Academy issue 7. Wasn't a fan. I do not like the direction Ranger Academy has taken. When this comic came out, I was expecting like just a breezy adventure comic, like, oh, here's a school for Power Rangers. I assumed it was going to be the SPD Academy, or maybe it was going to take some influence from that mission training thing. Oh yeah, that's something. Still no Rex Ranger. 0 out of 10, no Rex Ranger. I really don't know what the goal with this comic was. It seems like it's too lore-heavy for casual fans, and if you're an actual fan who's super deep into the show or the comics, either continuity, this doesn't really fit either of those. This whole nonsense with Green Rangers is the biggest distraction from anything else going on in this comic. This comic could be like a cute little high school magic story with Sage and her friends doing stuff, but like as the comic goes, and it hasn't even been that long, it's only 7 issues in, but Sage has basically already been flanderized to the point where she's just a girl who cries a lot, has anxiety. That's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. See ya.